guys, welcome back to the Pineapple Party Podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pineapple Party Podcast. My name is Jensen and I am your host. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Pineapple Party Podcast. If you are here, if you are present, if you're watching us live, I just want to say welcome to the very beginning of the Pineapple Party Podcast. I can promise you that you are witnessing something great, something amazing, something very massive and big in the building. So, welcome. Thank you so much for spending time with me here. My name is Jensen again. And again, what this Pineapple Party Podcast is, it's a podcast where I get to explore different sides and different areas and different dimensions and aspects of life, because what I plan to do with this podcast is to interview as many different people from different backgrounds as I can. And so personally, I am a musician. I am currently focused on a lot of hip-hop music. So I rap, I perform, and I'm also a content creator on social media, so Instagram, TikTok, whatever. But one thing that I really do want to do with this podcast is not only focus on music, but actually, just branch out into different industries. But if you don't want to put it in such a I'm gonna go to work in my white suit and little tie. I want to explore as many different aspects and areas of life as I can, and you guys will see a lot of different people from university lecturers talking about business, talking about sciences and all that, to musicians, to radio DJs, to people with very unique hobbies that I plan to bring on. So it really is this multifaceted kind of platform where anyone and everyone can tune in, and anyone and everyone can also feature as a guest. Honestly, the criteria is just, as long as I find them interesting, I would love to have them on and have them just talk about what they love, have them talk about what they see as maybe their hobby or whatever it is. But this curiosity didn't just come out of nowhere. It's not, I don't think, to be brutally honest, I don't think I was born with this curiosity to really get to know people, to really get to socialize with people, because I've always been that kind of shy kid, right? And I would go to parties in the rare occasions that I was invited to them, and I would always sit at the corner by myself, like tucked in. And if I was old enough to a point where I already have my own phone, then I'd have my little smartphone, and because it didn't have any space for games, I'd just swipe back and forth, and I just pretend like I'm doing something, because talking to people was terrifying to me. It was like, oh my god, why'd you want to know about me? And it's like, if I say the wrong thing, everyone's gonna be like, ha ha ha, look, he's dumb, he's stupid, he doesn't know how to speak. So that was always in my mind, and that meant that social interactions, especially with people from very different backgrounds, became very daunting to me, and it became very intimidating to approach, because all I know is what I know, and I always felt like it was all I know is what I know, and I don't know what they know. Meaning, if I approach them and I don't know what they're talking about, then it makes me feel like I'm just some sort of loser who's not in the know, who doesn't know current news, or who's not hip enough or cool enough to know what's going on or to be included. So I had massive FOMO, but I had an even bigger fear of slipping up while talking to people. And I think at some point when I was 16 or 17, at high school, we were put in charge of directing this play. So we just finished our exams, and everyone's like, oh, finally relaxed. The stress is all gone. And really, it really is, either you think, oh, I'm so happy it's over, or, oh my God, my life is over. There really isn't a between. But the good thing is all the exams were done, and everyone's kind of chilling. Most people kind of skip class by that point because there is no incentive to come in to learn. So about 50-60% of the people were still in, and they pooled all the high school grades together. So all the way from year 7 till I think I was year 10. I think I was year 9 or 10 at the time. So they pulled in everybody from year 7 all the way to year 10. And they told us, hey, we want you guys to mingle, get to know each other, come up with groups of about 10 to 12, and come up with a play. We want you to write your own play, direct your own play, and play your own play, and perform in front of the rest of the school. Go. So obviously, we get grouped together. I have one or two of my friends with me, and then everybody else is from other year groups. And then, I'm like, oh, this is sweet. Like, I've always had this kind of desire to get into acting or to get into writing and that kind of stuff and explore that media creative side of myself, right? And we go in, and I had this genius idea because I kind of got the vibe after like talking to our group that the people weren't really into memorizing lines. So I was like, okay, at the time there was a World Cup that was going on. I was like, okay, why don't I write this play where I play as a commentator going all, oh, and he scores and all that. And then I have a sheet of paper. That's my prop, but it really is just a printed script. And because I'm the commentator, kind of commenting on what's going on, in a way, if I time it correctly, I can instruct my crewmates on what to do. Because a lot of them kind of show they don't really have this interest whatsoever to act or to do anything of the kind. So, I should probably change my name. Welcome, everybody. I promise to be a lot more professional as we go, but we are learning, and I'm more than happy to show you guys my flaws, show you guys unfiltered how I am, and then just pick up from there. But going back to the story, so I could kind of tell that no one was really interested. They were always like, "Oh, really? Can we do one? Can we just do one more? Can we just do one more?" And I asked them, "No, we have to rehearse. We have to rehearse." So I wrote the play, and at some point in like day 2 or 3 of our practice, I go, all right, guys, can we just please run it one more time? Please, guys, just one more time. And then this girl from like a lower year, she was like a year 8 kid, stands up and says like, why the hell do I have to listen to you? Shut up. And like everyone started laughing at me. And it's so pathetic, right? Because it really is like just this little goofy story when I was in high school. But then I felt so embarrassed. And at the time, I was like, oh my God, like, this is really the end of the road for me. My dignity is gone. It's all flushed down the drain. I'm screwed. Like, I'm a laughing stock. So I was like, I could never shake how silly I felt. Not silly, but I felt like the butt of the joke. And I felt disrespected. And it was such a petty thing that I should have been able to just either one, just ignore it and move on, or 2, respond. But I did neither. I was stuck in the middle, and I just end up thinking, oh my God, this little girl offended me. This little girl made fun of me. This little girl made fun of me. And I couldn't do anything about it because obviously I can't come back the next day and be like, hey, don't say that about me, or like start throwing hands, like, start scrapping the little year 7 girl. And everyone's running around, oh my God, Jensen's fighting a year 7 girl. So the only thing I could have done is really just take it and really sit there and take it, right? But I couldn't just move on from it. And it kept replaying in my mind. I know I'm talking about this like it's some PTSD or whatever, but it really was that significant. And I think it was that significant because I had really low confidence and I had really low self-esteem. And I'm going to be very brutally honest. And, if something that tiny can mess up your day, right, then obviously something's wrong with your self-confidence or your self-esteem. So I kind of knew that's the issue. And at that time, I really just started getting into watching UFC. Because that was when Conor McGregor There you go. That's the big man. Conor McGregor started blowing up. He started really getting into, uh, my social media feed, and I would see his quotes, like his quotes about confidence, his quotes about how he's obsessed about hard work and everything. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just set this guy or what he was? Obviously now, Conor McGregor is very different. I'm sure you guys all know. But back then, back in like 20, it was 2015, 2016. No, it was 2017, 2018 when he was still, when he just finished fighting Floyd, and he was still respected by most people. And I was like, okay, let me set this guy as my role model and see where I go from it, right? So I look into how he talked about confidence, how he talked about, the power of manifestation, of the law of attraction. You speak something into existence and you work hard to achieve it, then it will become reality, right? And I really started really investing into that. And I remember if I go back to my Google Photos and I scroll down to those years, I would see screenshots, like little screenshots of Conor McGregor quotes. And I became the biggest Conor McGregor fanboy, honestly. And but just seeing how he talked, seeing how he carried himself, that's what I took. I don't really care about the money. I don't care about the flashy kind of, all that flashy. For me, it was about how he carried himself, how he sets a goal and he gets himself from that 0 to that 100. So over time, I started, learning to visualize, and one thing that I really did was whenever I went out, I would try to talk to strangers, and it was so awkward. I had so many awkward moments where I was like, "Hi, my name is Jensen," and they're like, "Yes, how can I help?" "Oh no, I don't know you. Sorry," and I'll just like try to run away, like, you know. So it started from that, and it started from being so socially awkward and so shy, to a point where now I can approach someone and be like, "Oh, hi, how's it going? Do I know you?" "Well, no, but hey, I like talking to people. Why not we get to know each other?" You know? So it was just because of that incident where I felt so humiliated. And of course, that was really just a trigger. If I really want to get deep into it, I've always been shy. I've always felt like I could never be one of them popular kids. And I know it's such a small thing now that as adults we're like, "Oh, who cares about who was popular in primary school or in secondary? Who cares?" You know? Where are they at now? You know? But looking back, I used to be so like, "Oh, I just wanted to fit in. I just wanted to have friends. I just wanted to be, someone's number one. I just wanted to be someone that people saw as desirable. Someone that, when people look at, oh my God, that's Jensen. He knows this guy, this guy, this guy. Oh my God, that's Jensen. He's with this group. Oh my God, did you know this about him?" I wanted to be that guy, you know? Uh, but I never was. So that along with being teased constantly in middle school, or all the racist jokes that I had to deal with, all the ridicule that I had to deal with, I would never say I was bullied, because I personally feel like there are people who had it worse. So for myself, I would not say I was bullied, but I was definitely teased a lot, for my name, for all that kind of stuff, for the food that I brought instant noodles to school and they made fun of me for it. So all of that, I was always kind of like just taking it and taking it and taking it, until that point where that little year 7 girl told me to shut up in front of the whole class. And I was like, you know what, this is it. This is the moment I changed. This is the pivoting moment. This is the pivotal moment, sorry. And I really just, set Conor McGregor as kind of my main inspiration. And, he preached a lot about being comfortable with the uncomfortable and speaking up for yourself and stuff like that. So I really observed how he carried himself, his body language. He's always very relaxed, even in tense situations, right? So I modeled myself after that. How do I open up? How do I open my body language to show people, hey, I'm comfortable. I'm not a threat. I'm not closed up. You can approach me. I'm open. You know? And little things like that. Little things like that. Because one thing that I've learned is the little things build up. The small things build up into big things. So when you just focus on every little dimension of your life, right? From how I talk to people, from how I carried myself, from how I sit, from my posture, from my body language, learning to be relaxed, and it got to a point where I took this rigid kind of like, posters of inspiration from him and turned it into my own thing. And I learned to be comfortable in my own skin, and And the thing is, I've honestly went through ups and downs, and I'm only 21. There is so many more ups and downs to go through, and I think a lot of people think, oh my God, like I'm already 25, I'm already 26, my life is going to finish. No, it's just the start. It's just the beginning. In the beninging. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the start. We have so much to do and so far to go, and I'm still learning so much because I really don't know anything. I don't know anything. It's just I got myself to a point where I can start to acknowledge, hey, this is what I want to learn. But that still means I don't know anything, you know? And that's why I'm doing this podcast, because I want to learn. I want to learn about radio. I want to learn about acting. I want to learn about, I don't know, maybe fighting, I want to learn about science. I want to learn about business. I want to learn about all facets of life and really have this eventually build up to this holistic, or at least more holistic view of life itself. So that's why I'm doing this podcast. And it is honestly such a pleasure and a privilege to record this, and to, cut the front and the back, right? All that extra stuff, that B footage, and leave the entire podcast as it is. Well, what I mean is I'm not censoring anything. I mean the start where I go check, I'm going to trim that out. And the end where I go, oh, that was a good podcast, I'm going to trim that out as well. But everything else is uncensored as it is. And I get to explore this type of learning in long form with you guys. So that's why I'm doing this podcast. It's really to learn and really to continue my my core value of being confident, of exploring the unexplored, of being comfortable with the uncomfortable. And I think that's where I got to where I am. And it has been ups and downs throughout the journey. I've lost a lot of friends. A lot of people have cut me off. A lot of people think I'm this very cocky douchebag, like, oh, he's very intimidating. But no, like, it's just you speak up for yourself. You can carry yourself, like, I'm 80 kilograms. I'm not that heavy. I can carry myself. But no, that's not what I mean, right? It's like you can speak up for yourself. You know how to communicate. You know how to handle yourself. You can take care of yourself. This is not cockiness. And another thing that, I want to use this opportunity to transition into this topic of cockiness versus confidence. A lot of people think confidence is, oh, I scored A in this exam. I'm very happy. Yes, I'm proud of myself. That is not cockiness. That is confidence. Confidence is acknowledging your hard work. Confidence is being comfortable with the uncomfortable. Confidence is being happy and celebrating oneself. It is not muting yourself. It is not censoring yourself. It is not lowering yourself to fit the standards of everybody else. Because what is that? What is that? What are you telling me? If you got an A plus, A star, if I got a D and I ask you, hey buddy, what'd you get? Oh, I did really bad. I got a D. You're gonna blatantly lie? No, that's ridiculous. So confidence, or true confidence, is being comfortable with the uncomfortable. And it is you celebrating yourself for who you are, for your good points. And when you achieve something, you show that you're proud of it. You're proud of yourself. You're happy for yourself. You're not here, punching yourself down like, oh, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I don't know anything. Like, no. You can admit to not knowing everything. You can admit to, hey, I'm a beginner, because I am a beginner. But when I do win, I celebrate it. I show it because I'm proud of myself. But fake confidence, or fake confidence or cockiness really is more like, oh, I did something great. I need everyone to be happy for me. I need everyone to acknowledge that I'm the greatest. No one owes you anything. That is the thing that I had to learn through my ups and downs, through my friends cutting me off, through moving to Australia on my own and coming back here, is you have to understand no one owes you anything. The only person that is responsible for taking care of yourself is yourself. And if you're lucky enough, you have loved ones. I can admit that I have very, very beautiful people. I have a very small, tiny circle, but it is filled with beautiful people that give me a lot of value and support and love. So I've been very blessed in that aspect. But ultimately, the truth of the matter is you have to be there for yourself. So, what is confidence? Confidence is you showing up for yourself. Confidence is you being comfortable with the uncomfortable. You being okay with the uncertain. That's what confidence is. And that is what I believe confidence to be. So when I see some of these guys with, all that swagger and as soon as you talk to them, they're like, oh, where you dress so broke? This new chain. Oh, don't be such a pussy lah. It's like, bro, what you doing, man? You're just trying to I forgot the term, but you're trying to vomit all of this. You're trying to project onto me. That's not real confidence. Real confidence is you can be accepting of people, but you know exactly who you are. You know exactly who you are and you stay true to yourself. As long as, your qualities are those that benefit you and the people around you. Of course, if I'm violent, I'm not going to be true to myself and start, punching every Tom, Dick, and Harry I see. But true confidence is being comfortable with the uncomfortable. So that sums up the end of the first episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. So what we covered is how did I get to this point where I want to talk to people, where I want to socialize, where I have this curiosity when I initially didn't. When I initially was just a shy little kid who, kind of tucked himself away at the corner of a party or couldn't speak up for himself in little petty arguments. Now I know, hey, do I need to speak up for this? Nah, don't really care. Doesn't matter to me. Brush it off, move on. So, yeah, I went from someone who is very shy to speak up for themselves to someone who is confident. I am confident, but I also know there's more for me to learn. There genuinely is so much more for me to explore, which is why it brings us to this topic, why Pineapple Party Podcast. Is because we are going to explore the entire world from the comfort of our homes. You can tune in anywhere you want. But we can explore all aspects of life by bringing in interesting people and asking them interesting questions. My name is Jensen, and this is the Pineapple Party Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1. For everything, information, it is all below in the description. Subscribe, like, and share with your friends. And that is it. This is the Pineapple Party Podcast. Thank you.